And welcome to this week's Market Code, your business identifier. And I guess what? Tonight is actually going to be a very insightful one because, as usual on set, I'm joined by fellow culprit, journalist, researcher, and then also student Hajara Ashaba. We're going to be interfacing, as usual, with Turkish manufacturers, businessmen, and investors. They are actually live from Turkey. Now we are broadcasting live through the Muslim channel here at the .NET Broadcaster Studios. Now remember, we are broadcasters here at the Hub. Now a lot of activities are going on here at the Hub, not forgetting our special Nana cakes for confectionaries and pastries. Now we have the .NET agency. Now we are the link between you, your investors, your Turkey trip, and all the manufacturers that you would want to meet head on. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, we are centering our focal point on confectionaries, that is chocolates, candies, and then also automotive machineries or equipment. Hajara, just like last week, we had a very complex one where we had tractors and trailers. Now this week also, we have one who specializes in automotive equipment. They, as agriculture has been mostly subsistent here in Uganda, most people don't find it a need for them to buy a tractor or anything. Now we have someone who is ready to bring those things right here. And then also we have one for candies and sweets. How excited are you?
I love agriculture.
Yeah.
More on a large scale basis.
Yeah.
So it does sound exciting. Not much of a food person, but on the agriculture equipment, I would say I can roll with that. Yeah,
let's start with the chocolates and candies because, to be honest, here in Uganda, a little bit of the population, we would see people shop chocolates, mostly in supermarkets.
Yeah.
It is not on a wide scale where you say someone is buying sukari, agula monyo. No, this is more of a luxurious kind of eat or edible. How, in your perspective, do you think Ugandans are going to be really receptive? Are these guys going to make that money before we even engage them and talk to them and see what their prospects are?
Shadrach, these are chocolates we are talking about,
and
high quality, and we are narrowing it down to chocolates, but then it's generally the confectionaries. And if you look at the output, the exports that Turkey has made over the years.
Yeah, if the producer can just give me a few videos of those guys as we're talking about this chocolates and candies, so that the people know what we're talking about, the specific ones that, you can go on.
Yeah, so we happen to have a new generation that finds a particular interest in chocolates. Kids used to be interested in sweets and whatnot, and cakes and the products that are in that cake family. But now you have a generation that gets to celebrate things, including Halloween, which means that you look at events like dinners for those of us that go to dates. You look at events like Valentine's Days, when things like flowers and chocolates actually sell, and Ugandans are picking up on it. So it actually wouldn't be a bad trade here. I think that the issue comes with the price.
Exactly.
Because if I'm moving in a supermarket and I have, say, a change of 3,000 on me, I may not mind buying chocolate. But then they're going to tell you that the smallest price you can start with is 10,000. But I think because you have to factor in the taxes and the fact that they're basically imports, but you are talking about guys that are interested in having chocolate plants here and joint ventures.
Do you think they would compromise their prices just so that you can have that chocolate or candy in your supermarket?
No, the reason why the prices are high is because chocolates are basically an import. So you have to factor in the costs that are involved with exporting, rather exporting and then importing chocolate here. That's why you find it at a higher price. But if we had an industry, a factory here that manufactures chocolate, then you would have the price actually greatly reducing.
So we see countries like, say, Britannia that have started in biscuits and those kind of family, like you call them. They are the ones that it has actually stayed with time. but we don't see any other company come up to you, say, I'm specializing in candies, chocolates, sweets. What do you think would be the predicament that, or the barricade that stops investors from investing in such kind of businesses?
No, there are those things that you really won't think of quite fast.
Right.
For example, you will think confectionaries, what is that? I would rather say invest in coffee or invest in milk products.
Right.
You look at the things that the Ugandan thing, we are not doing well in as far as industries and factories are concerned,
Correct.
to be honest.
Yeah, correct.
So someone is going to look at things that have ready markets here. And then how often do you hear of something selling as much as chocolates? If you were to use statistics coming in from Turkey, you look that on a general basis, they make 1.4 billion US dollars from confectionaries, just exports, if you don't look at what happens inside the country.
Yeah.
So I think because you look at countries like Turkey that hadn't taken a keen interest in investing in a country like Uganda, and then you have things like that, they are not traditionally a delicacy of here.
Yeah.
So very few people are going to think of it. But then you look at a country that flourishes in exporting that kind of thing, they are not investing in a state like Uganda. But then when they come in, you're actually going to see the market because the market is there already.
Okay, before I bring in Mr. Mustafa and the rest who are in Turkey right now and they are actually ready for us, a lot of children, even when we were growing up, do not eat sweets because of the health aspect of the teeth will get spoiled and everything. Yeah. Let's imagine, let's be playing the devil's advocate here. They work something out maybe with government or individuals that they've worked partnerships with, and they set up a plant here. Now the chocolate and sweets are much cheaper.
Yeah.
What we have our future children coming without teeth by the time they are 12.
No, but I think you're over-worrying because we have sugar factories here, plenty of them, and Ugandans happen to afford sugar. We have sweets that cost way lower than chocolates can ever cost. 100 shillings, you can afford a sweet. And we don't really have a general teeth problem in Uganda. And then that is now playing the advocate of the consumers. Then you're going to have to look at someone that is interested in having a market, in generating revenue and generating employment. And so you be the preacher, you tell your people, you make sure that you regulate your consumption of sweet things because it's not generally healthy. They are needed, yes, but they are not generally healthy. So you regulate how much you consume. But basically, once consumption is regulated, chocolates are not actually dangerous.
Correct. Okay, so Hajar, let's get to Turkey right now. We talk to this gentleman, we see the plans they have, what their expectations are. Are they over ambitious? Who knows? But after this short breather, the producer takes us through a short breather. When we come back, we talk to the Turkish live here at DBS. DBS Live Market Code Your Business Identifier through the Muslim channel. Now do not forget to subscribe so that in case we put up something, you will be the first to know. Now actually when you subscribe, all our updates and events are on social media for the .NET Agency. Now the .NET Agency always hosts events for business entrepreneurs and businessmen and women. Now subscribe, follow us on social media so that you will be the first to know and you do not miss out. Now, if my producer can give me Mr. Mustafa, who is in Turkey right now, so we can interface with the viewers. Mr. Mustafa. Okay.
Hello.
There he is. There he is, Mr. Mustafa. Thank you very much for talking to us. Hello, and how are you doing today?
Today I'm very relaxing.
Okay.
when I was on the CEU, I'm very happy.
Okay.
And talk programs with you.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you
Mustafa.
very much for everything. Thank you very much for everything and this program and the Muslim channel this week and the chocolates with the candy and the
Okay.
farm and the farm machine with the equipment. Inshallah will be good and the program.
Okay, before we actually dive into the guests that you have brought us today, I want to first of all say thank you for always bringing the Turkish people, Turkish businessmen, manufacturers, and investors, for showing them the opportunities that are in Africa and specifically in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Evan, thank you very much. Welcome.
Okay, so if you can kindly introduce the two guests that you have for us today.
Yes.
Yes, please introduce the two gentlemen you have for us today.
And today and Mr. Abdul Rahim. Today in the Mr. Abdul Rahim chocolate and the
Okay.
candy. Foreigner trade and the manager, Adel company. Mr. Ahmed farm machine, farm equipment and foreigner trade
Oh,
and the manager. Mr. Ahmed and from Sudan, but he knows speak Turkish, he knows speak and English. Directly you can ask the question and the
oh,
company and the manager.
okay. Wow, I didn't know Mr. Ahmed actually is from Sudan. But before I get to Mr.
Yeah.
Ahmed, let me talk to Mr. Abdrahim very fast. Mr. Abdrahim, if you can kindly introduce
Yeah.
yourself and introduce your candy and chocolate company to the viewers that are watching in Uganda and beyond.
Yes, yes. My name is Abdurrahman. I'm the export manager of the Adel Chocolate and Candy Company. Let me explain our company. Our company established at 1960 by the first generation of the owners, 61 years ago. They established the company for distributing the global brands. And day by day, when the second generation take control of the management, they decided to manufacture of confectionery. And now they reached the 20,000 square meter closed zone and 5,000 square meter open zone. And we are exporting our products, our goods, around to 45 countries. Day by day, we are enlarging our portfolio about the importer countries. And we focused on the Africa continent at the last years because African countries growing very fastly, and we are getting many demands for our products from all around the African continent.
All right. So you say you have largely expanded your portfolio and you are in 40 countries. Now, out of those 40 countries, I just want us to talk about the African market in particular. How have you found it so far, and what is your distribution mode or mode of business in these African countries?
Yeah, we are looking for exclusive dealer system because this is the best way for importing our product, exporting our products. Why? Because if we give our products to more company than exclusive dealer, because they are starting the competition and it is harmful for them and for us. So we are working with this system to keep our rights and our customer rights.
Okay, so when you talk about competition, where is your competition coming from? Is it Europe penetrating Africa, or Africans setting up African companies that are in your line of business to compete with you?
Of course, Europe, most Europe, but day by day also African countries enlarging.
Okay. All right. So what is going to be your mode of entry? Let's say, for instance, in Uganda, what would be your mode of entry? Will you go to government? Will you have partners here, independent private partners? Or are you going to just distribute? What is your mode of entry when you're
Yeah,
entering a marketplace?
yeah. As I told you at the beginning, now we are for importers as an exclusive dealer, because it's very hard for us to control the operations all around the countries. We are exporting 45 countries, and it's impossible for us to operate all these countries. So we need partners at every country to go to success speedily and more strongly.
Okay, so someone here in Kampala is watching you right now, and they would also want to partner with you, maybe to bring this kind of products in Uganda to be your partner. What would they do? What would it take for them to partner with you to bring the product to be distributed in this marketplace?
First of all, we should to be at the same mentality with our partner at Uganda, and then the next process, the next steps, we will specify together. Because it depends on the country. We cannot speak of all countries at the same situation. That's why we should specify together with the partner of us at each country. For example, I cannot know very well. Actually, I have experience about East Africa at Uganda. I've been there. I've been Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. I know that
Oh,
side
wow.
very well. But of course, we need partners from there. They know the specialties and the behaviors of the market very better than us. And
Okay.
our fundamental enlarge with our partners, together with our partners.
Okay, so here in this marketplace, confectionaries, say chocolates and candies, the women are very, very interested. That's why I'm going to give a chance to my colleague Hajara on set to ask what she wants to ask about your chocolate and candies. Yes, Hajara.
Hello, Mr. Abdurrahim. My question is going
Hello.
to pertain the quality, because chocolates are not like trucks that you can give people guarantees that if it's not working for me, I can return it after 6 months. So what guarantee do you give to Ugandans that if they invest themselves in, say, trading or buying your products, they will be of desired quality?
Yeah. Actually, I think it is not acceptable with our words. I mean our quality. So, there are some certification companies, and they have acceptance from all around the world. We are providing that certificates. For example, ISO 2000, 22000, and ISO 9001. I think that certificates. They are checking. They are controlling our manufacturing zone, our lines, and we have halal certificates also, and we have many certificates, quality certificates. We are providing them. We are inviting that certificate companies to check our production line, check our manufacturing site. This is, I think, more acceptable than our words or other companies' words.
Okay, so if I'm to hear what he's saying exactly, he's using the fact that he has a history and he comes with countries that have trusted his quality before.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
he's trying to say, and he has a certificate of people that have actually said that, okay, your product is good and we welcome you here. So that is his excuse, and that is his guarantee to the Ugandans and to the consumers.
Well, if you are to go with what we have seen on the market, for example, you find a shirt that is labeled Seguchi, and it costs 10,000 in Uganda. So that's a fake Gucci. So that means that the more countries you be in the quality that you have, then the more the possibility that these things can actually be duplicated. So what guarantee does he give Ugandans actually that yes, for him he can make the quality, but what safeguards does he have in place that his products are not being duplicated to give people what is substandard?
I'm telling you. So before we actually go for a short break, Mr. Abdurrahim, I'm going for a short break, but as you answer Hajara finally, and then also your last words to Ugandans and the ones that are open for business with you before we go for a short break.
Yeah, my last words
The producer
to
can give me the
you,
audio.
to you can consume our products freely, because as I told also, your government requests many quality certificates from us to make export to your country, so you can trust our products. And we are waiting partner partnership offers from your country, inshallah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Abdrahim. It was really nice catching up with you. Now I'm going to go for a short break. When we come back, we now dive into agro automotives, where these guys actually do equipment for agriculture. They graze farmlands. The producer is going to be giving us those videos so that they can see. But after the break, we come back. We're still live in Turkey, and then we're also live at the .NET Broadcasters studio. Now do not go away. We'll come back in a bit. All right. Now, those who are excited and also interested in farming, you better sit back and relax, because we are taking farming to the next level with the high level state-of-the-art equipment that will take your farm to the next level, your agriculture to the next level. But you can follow this very lovely discussion on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That is for the Muslim channel, and then also DBS Live. Now, if the producer can take me back to Turkey so I can interface with Mr. Ahmed, who is actually the proprietor for this agriculture manufacturing equipment. If he can take me. All right, here we are, Mr. Mustafa. Gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I want to ask the question.
Okay, so I want to, at this point, to bring in Mr. Ahmed.
No,
If you
and
can
Mr.
introduce
Abdul
yourself and talk to the
Abdurrahman,
people, introduce your
Abdurrahman.
company and tell them what you do, because the producer is going to be showing us on the video the kind of equipment and machinery that you manufacture. Mr. Ahmed?
Hello.
Okay, so kindly talk to the viewers and tell them about your company and the equipment and types of products that you manufacture.
Okay, my name is Ahmed. I am from Sudan. Today, maybe my English language it not be good like before, because I learned Turkish language, but it's no problem. Now, thank you and thank you for Muslim channel. I'm so proud to be here. Our company Axano, we made agriculture machinery. Like Disc Hero and Filter Spaders, some machinery like that. We exported this machinery to Europe and Africa. We export the machinery to Europe like Russia, Romania, and Africa, Sudan, Jazair, Morocco, Egypt.
Yeah, so Mr. Mustafa also mentioned earlier that you're from the Sudan, but you're operating in Turkey. So talking about the fact that you're from the Sudan, what African countries has your product been distributed in, or are you operating in right now, currently?
What African country? Sudan and Egypt, Nigeria, and Jazair, Morocco. We export the machine to this country.
All right, so when it comes to machinery and equipment, people have issues, you know, when like what Hajar was asking, guarantee. Do you give guarantees to people who import this machinery?
Yes, of course, we have guarantee and we have certificates like ISO and EAJ from Russia, and we have guarantees for 2 years, all of the machines.
Right. Now that would actually take me to the question of quality, you know, because if you trust your quality and you give guarantee for equipment, then what is the quality standard? Is it the same standard that would be used in Europe that you're bringing in Africa, or you make specifically personalized for Africans?
For Europe, the quality like Europe, because we have certificate from Russia, EAJ, and we have IOC from Inglaterra.
All right. So before I let you go, talking about the pricing, are your prices so far in the countries that you're in? What is the price review and evaluation from the people in these marketplaces? What are they talking about your prices?
I need to because my machinery, it is quality, and our price, it is good, because already we have exported it to Africa, to Sudan and Jazair and to Morocco. Maybe my prices is be so good for.
Okay, so what is would be your entry point in Uganda? How would you want to enter in Uganda? Would you want a private person who wants to partner with you so you can distribute in Uganda? Would you want to talk to government and set up a manufacturing plant like the one you have in Turkey? What would be your plan for Uganda?
For Uganda, really. We need to export the machinery to Okanta. Maybe Okanta, it is he had agriculture machinery already. We have agriculture at Okanda. Okay. But now we don't export anything to Okanda.
Oh, okay. All right. So before we go for a short break, someone now would love to ask who is watching that. Let's say, for instance, something happened. How would they then reach you? For instance, they brought an agricultural equipment that is expensive. How would they go about it? Do you have people on ground, like mechanics, or they would have to export it back for you to work on it and then it comes back?
Yeah, we have people for this work.
That are in Uganda or?
Yeah, in my guns.
Okay, so if anything happened, you have people on ground, they would work on it and then sort the person rather than ferrying it back to Turkey.
Yes. We do like that.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going for a short break. When we come back, we start right there. Now, do not go away. You are still on the Muslim channel, DBS Live. We're coming back in a moment. All right, and welcome back. Now you are still on the market code, your business identifier. Now I told you we are your bridge between your manufacturer, your investor, and the person who is across the border that you want in your business, all you need to do is reach out to the .NET agency so that you do not miss any of the events that they actually carry out every year. Sometimes they actually do it twice or thrice a year. Now we are still with Hajara on set, but also we are live in Turkey with the manufacturers and businessmen. Hajara, I'm going to bring in Mr. Mustafa. I think he had a question for you. If the producer can give us Mr. Mustafa.
Question: is it possible, brother?
Yes.
Can you ask the Mr. Abdul Rahim and for chocolate candy factory and how many person and working there, even how many and Ugandan and the people working and that company, and they can explain to and the quality Ugandan and the people and for chocolate factory.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if you can give me Mr. Abdrahim, then I can get back to Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Abdrahim, if the producer can give me, okay, Mr. Abdrahim. So Mr. Mustafa is asking, say for instance, we set up a factory in Uganda. How many staff would you have? What would it take for you to set up like you set up in Turkey?
Yeah. Actually, half of our staff from Africa.
Half right now are
And
from Africa.
yeah, yes, and half from Uganda.
How did you do this? How did you get these Ugandans to Turkey?
With the help of Mr. Mustafa.
So Mr. Mustafa was,
and
he's the one who brought them for you.
and if it's possible, I have there is a lady near me. She's fromUganda. Her name is
Can she
Rose.
come
I
and
want to
wave?
introduce
Can she
her.
come and wave to our fellow Ugandans who are watching right now?
Yes, yes. Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello, how are you, Jebaleko?
I'm fine. Now, college, but Maluganda is not very good.
Sanyi Sokulaba.
My Uganda is not so good.
What part of Uganda do you come from?
I come from Soroti.
Oh, you come from Soroti, eastern part of Uganda. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Say hi to the people who are watching you, your fellow Ugandans.
My name is Rosa Tim. Yes, I come from Soroti.
Okay, do you have some people? I'm going to give you half a second to send greetings to some of your relatives down here in Uganda.
Okay, yes, please. Yes, I would like to send greetings to my sister Goretti Ayano. She works in High Court. Then Elizabeth Akeso is my other sister. Elizabeth Akeso works with Mild Maid. And my brother Richard Eringo, he's in Ghana, but right now he's at home. He's in Soroti.
Okay, before I let you go, if you may share your experience to the Ugandans that are watching right now, share with them how is working in Turkey. How has it been for you?
Working in Turkey has been okay. Everything is okay, especially with this chocolate company. I've worked here this is my third year. I'm very grateful to this company. I've really learned a lot. I've gotten a lot of skills from here. God willing, if something like this comes up in Uganda, then I'll be able to really, help and instruct or whatever it is it takes.
Exactly. Talking about yes, talking about the skill set that you have gained over the 3 years, what would you have to say for government as regards these investors?
It's really a good thing if the government could really venture in this. It is a good, let's say, it's a good business. Since I've been in here, it is really okay and it's not complicated as such. Even when you go to machinery or something like that, The machines we were using are really very user friendly. Doesn't need a lot of training or anything. You learn on job, and it's very easy to really adopt.
All right, thank you. Finally, before I let you go, for the people who are watching you and they would love to work in Turkey, like how you are, to be in the position you're in right now, what would you be your word to them?
Yeah, it is okay. They can come in and get, but then the problem is maybe it's not that when they come to Turkey, it's not that they will end up in the chocolate company and many more other companies, but it's at times they may ask for workers, then it's easy to get in because yeah, me initially I've been here for 6 years and lobbying to work in this company all this time, and I didn't have the opportunity. But until 3 years back, I got a chance to. So that could be the thing. So, but otherwise, if they got a chance to work in the chocolate companies, they are really the easy ones to work, the easiest, and very interesting.
Okay, thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you. It's like I'm home. Hopefully when we come, we're coming sometime soon, I think end of the year or beginning of next year. We shall definitely be in touch and we'll catch up.
Yeah, that would be very good. You're most welcome. You'll always find me. I'm here. I don't know until when, but I'm still around. I already hope to be here.
Okay,
Till
thank you
the
very
time
much.
I'm ready to go home because you're most welcome.
Okay, if I can get back to Mr. Ahmed, there are interesting, Hajara, there are interesting things right here. Because before I actually get to Mr. Ahmed, the Ugandans that are in the diaspora, isn't it amazing that we've been discussing and she's just right next by him?
Yeah, which makes you wonder the kind of company position that she holds, and why they are in that close proximity, and the quality of employment that Ugandans can find in Turkey.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it does say a lot. We hear of people going to work as maids and whatnot, but if someone is seated right next to a company executive, yeah, it does speak something. Perhaps there is credible employment for Ugandans out there.
And they have the liberty to talk in the boss's interview. Yeah. What does this communicate, maybe say about the labor situation when it comes to Turkey?
To be fair, Turkey compared to her Middle Eastern counterparts is more secular and more liberal compared to the others. So it shouldn't be shocking because Turkey works more on the standards of Europe. So if the standard of Turkey is that your work speaks for you, your work represents for you, then if someone is doing a good job out there, we have agencies like the .NET that can connect people to gainful employment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. I think when the producer allows, I think we need to now dive deep in the discussion of labor with Turkey, because we've seen all these other, humongous companies and plants and everything. But then the labor laws, and especially for the people who are there as foreigners, that would be a very interesting discussion. But that's a discussion for another day.
And right now we have a Sudanese on set.
A Sudanese on set who is now a company executive. So there's an interesting discussion if we would have it in the future. Now, do not go away. We are still on the market code. We're taking a breather and we are coming back. DBS Live. Now you are on the market code, your business identifier, and you're logged on to the Muslim channel. Now, Hajaro, the video that just played, the kind of high-level machinery, do you think a time is actually going to come in Uganda and that is real, it's assembled or manufactured here? What is delaying us? Is it the capital? Is it the knowledge gap? What is it? Because we see Nigeria in that direction, South Africa in that direction, Kenya in that direction, but for us, there's nothing to talk about.
The countries that whose examples you happen to give have had, for Uganda, you're going to say that I love politics, but for Uganda, the political question has to be involved in. We have had political disruptions that had to affect the whole country, whereas a country like Kenya has been prevalently independent, rather peaceful since independence, and because the British really never, they had their interests there, so they never left much of that. So they had where to pick up from, and they had people that had interests that should keep development on a certain track. You look at Nigeria and the major turbulence they had disturbing part of the stability of the country was the Biafra secession issues in around 67. So for us, it comes down to the population. Our population has just started bulging of late. So where the population is small, you do not have enough market. And if you do not have enough market, investors are not going to risk their capital in such a state. And then you have the capital itself. Ugandans don't have enough capital to assemble such things, to have such plants. And then because of the market and the population and the investor issue that we talked about, then people of, say, countries like Turkey are not going to have an interest here. And then you have the issue of agriculture. Uganda is an agricultural state, yes, but 80% of those participating, around 70%, it's subsistence. People they are using rudimentary tools. They get hoes. So at the end of the day, it's not worth investing in. But Uganda has come this far. We have people using machinery for agricultural purposes now. So I think it is a good time to look not just at having these machines brought here, but dominating the market.
When you say there are people using this high level of machinery in Uganda, are you talking the natives, a layman, Shadrach from nowhere, he has his shamba and is using this kind of thing? Or these are people, Indians, foreigners, who have the money to buy such kind of high-level machinery?
There are Ugandans that can afford it, mostly those that are part of government. Those, those can afford it. Most of them are farmers, most government officials, ministers and whatnot, they happen to be farmers. Then there are those that are involved in joint ventures with foreigners, say Pakistanis. On Masaka Road, there are square miles of a rice farm. I hear it's part Salim, part Pakistanis, whoever owns it, I do not know. But you have such individuals using such machinery right now because the human labor may not be able to cultivate so much land within a feasible time. So there are Ugandans, private citizens, that recently we had a conversation about the late Haj BNK, the doctor. He could have afforded something like that if he had interests in agriculture.
Let us be realistic. If you had a plant or a showroom here, think about it. How many pieces of these tractors or equipment would be sold in a year from a business perspective?
No, but okay, to answer your question, I would say few, but then the justification that is there is that you are talking about a highly mechanized pricey pieces of equipment in an economy like Uganda's. So you're not going to look at selling, for example, 100,000 pieces a year. You're going to have realistic expectations. You see, Turkey is known as the 29th producer and exporter of these things. Yet they take out at least 23,000 of those to different countries, to more than 40 countries. So a country cannot buy so much. Uganda cannot buy so much. But for those that, if you were investing in such a trade here in Uganda, then you put your production at levels that are not going to rather put you at a loss.
Let's just look at government in its endeavor, to highly mechanize agriculture and to make things easy for its natives. I would think, as a person, what would you think a partnership, say, for instance, with Mr. Ahmed, government partners with such a guy, he manufactures them, and then bring them, and say, for instance, what they do with tractors, maybe every week they rent them out, and what do you think such kind of partnership can ease in the agriculture between Uganda and the government? So now we're talking government directly contracting such manufacturers. That kind of arrangement, do you see something like that happening, or is it a good idea?
It would be an excellent idea, but it is not, because we do not have agricultural projects that go up that level. Even when you have government
I think
supporting,
we do. They are individual projects, but they do not have a hand.
Well, then they're not government. That's what I was saying, that individuals can actually manage that kind of arrangement. Because if you have, for example, you would want to ask a gentleman like Ahmed that would you hire out these things, but he cannot do so from Turkey. If he was here, you would have a hiring basis such that individuals that may not afford buying these things can actually hire them.
So then why would the government, let's say, have an arrangement with Ahmed, and then these people hire from government?
Well, because we do not have a government that has specialized in supporting citizens in that kind of way. Believe me, our government does not have that much money. It would take much money for that to happen. Second, you have seen the projects that government helps people. They are giving them seedlings, a kilogram too. So I think we are not there yet.
Can't the government take it a notch higher? Because, hey, these are guys who want to penetrate in the market. Government is not going to be your only client. We are saying, hey, we're going to give you, say, a tax exemption or tax holiday, but in return, we would want you to maybe subsidize also on the cost for us as government. You can maintain your prices for the public people, have your showroom here, but for us government, you subsidize the cost. Then government now would have them at stations in maybe city, in what are they called, Stenson, in villages, mobile Stenson. In that, when farmers now can access this at a low, just kuyuamu mafuta at a low cost, and then we'll be able to mechanize the nominal as we wind up this thing. What would you think?
But you see, to be fair to government, very few people have learned and plans that require the use of such machinery. Most people that are involved in agriculture have farms and pieces of land that can only be done by tilling using hoes. So we are actually putting a burden on government, because government is giving an incentive to a foreign investor. But then I'm going to come out of someone, I'm going to ask you a question, that how is government gaining?
Actually, they are subsidizing on your cost, so you can easily mechanize.
No, the government is giving an investor tax holiday, right? Then the government is providing these tractors at a very low cost. So people that have really small farms that could be done by something that is less expensive compared to a tractor or whatever it is Ahmed is manufacturing. So it gets down to, yes, the government is losing revenue because they're giving tax incentives, but how is the government gaining? So may I think that there is ready market for things like this. Here in Uganda, we have people that have chunks of land, we have people that have the money, we have people that have the will to invest in agriculture. But such things are not available, or they do not focus on them, because since we don't have plants here, they're expensive to import. So how about you come and you take advantage of the available market before you think of involving government in?
Correct. So this can never end with Hajara, but as we wind up the discussion, I cannot not talk about our chocolate guy. Now, the chocolate guy, he has a first tick from me because he had a Ugandan. He had a Ugandan, that lady, that's a big statement for me about his work ethic as an employer and etc.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about penetrating through Uganda, Ugandans, an average Ugandan has barely anything to eat. Will they buy chocolate? That's a luxury for rich people.
Oh, you're underestimating Ugandans. When it comes to luxuries, Uganda is a good place to go. If you have a business idea that involves selling a luxury. If you did not notice, Ugandans woke up in arms and fought a customer that was alleging something against Cafe Javas. They did not
and you'd think Cafe Javas is expensive and we are broke, close and live.
Exactly. So people normally, it has something to do with capitalism, but Ugandans actually have money to spend. For you perhaps know a person or two that do not have supper tonight, and yet they are going to be rich tomorrow, or that's just 1 out of the 10 people, and the 9 can actually afford these things. But I think that if we had having plants like a confectionery chocolate factory here is actually nice, because these are things we do not manufacture here, yet they would have some good market here and in the neighborhood. So having such a plant gives Ugandans ideas that this exists in Kampala. I can establish it in Baran or Soroti.
Right. Our time is really well spent, but before we go, finally, Hajara, we are seeing global enterprises on the continent close in Uganda. Nakumatt, Uchumi, the list is endless.
Yeah.
How then would we be sure if a guy like that came and set up, they would be able to stay afloat?
But you see, you have these going out, and you have others coming in to replace them.
Right.
ShopRite left, and barely a week later, we had Carrefour sitting there where ShopRite is. So for whatever reason these companies have for living, they do not disclose. All they say is it's a raising.
Purely bad business environment.
You may say.
It's purely bad business environment. That's what they say. We could not make the sales anymore versus the costs and everything.
Yeah, you may say that, but how many other companies actually in Uganda are staying and have been staying for a long time? Yeah, so it gets down to the resilience and the market research that a company has made, and what product you're dealing in. I wouldn't want to compare Nakumatt or Uchumi, those are supermarkets, with what, for example, Ahmed is going to do here, or what a confectionery plant is going to do here. You never know what may happen, but where they have to set here first, and they see how that goes. I would think that for a businessman, you have conducted enough research to say that out of the 54 countries in Africa, Uganda is a favorable market.
All right, you see, this is a discussion that we need to have extremely broadly. Maybe when the producer gives us time, why foreign agencies are closing just like that. We would have now to discuss that. But as we wind up, I want Mr. Mustafa and the gentleman from Turkey, who are on the show also, to at least give their final words to the Ugandans and everyone who is watching. Mr. Mustafa, let me start with Mr. Abdrahim. Please give your last remarks to the Ugandans watching and beyond.
Thank you for your interest to our company, and thank you for your the chance that you give us to introduce us. As I told you, we have good relation with African people, and also we have many colleges from Africa. So I hope everything will be good, inshallah.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us, Mr. Abdrahim. It has been a pleasure. And Mr. Mustafa, do we have Mr. Ahmed or he left? Okay, so let's have Mr. Mustafa, your final words in 1 minute as we say bye to the Ugandans. I know for you we shall see you again because you're always bringing us new faces, but your final words for today's show as we wind down.
Inshallah, see you again. Another program.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. It's been a lovely time talking to you gentlemen in Turkey, and then also with my fellow culprit as usual. On set, fellow journalist Hajara. Today you've made the Turkish man laugh a lot. I don't know what happened.
I'm
Is it
not
because
part
the
of that.
veil?
I'm not part of that
Is it because of the
conversation.
veil? I didn't know. Today you made the man laugh a lot. He's speaking the words he knows in Luganda, but it's been a lovely time. Maybe your last words as we wind up.
I think now my interest in having investors like Abdrahim come here. For people that do not have original ideas,
Right.
for someone that he said that his family has been in this, he's the third generation.
Yeah, he's the third generation.
Yeah, so where you do not have people having things like tractors, the automobile industry altogether. When you have such people coming in, even when they leave, they have people that come in their
So
place.
you're sure?
Yes, you know that you're not just gaining from employment and revenue, but Ugandans may set up such establishments. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good call.
All right, it's a wrap. Thank you very much, Hajara. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, you've been a lovely audience. Keep it the Muslim channel. Keep it DBS Live. Now, we are at the hub. Do not forget, Nana Cakes is on location for all your confectionaries, cakes, and pastries. Now, we have the .NET agency. We are the bridge to your investor, to your manufacturer. Now, see you until next time. Of course, same hosts. Bye.